I could beat up any animal, man. Line them up, whatever you got. Because I'm talking from...
Line them up?
Oh.
Perfect.
Mike, have you seen this list before?
Yes, I have seen that list before. Are we making a YouTube video about this thing that's going around the internet?
Oh yeah. Apparently, 6% of people think, even for a second, that they could beat a grizzly bear in a fight.
Like, defeat a grizzly bear in unarmed combat.
Hand to claw, hand to paw.
Yeah, they don't even have
combat.
hands.
I feel like maybe people don't know what animals look like outside of Disney films. I don't know. We're gonna get into it today. We're gonna talk about this list, what animals we think we could beat, how we would beat them if we were to beat them, or like maybe even escape with our lives. Look at me, right here. You don't do any of these things that we say if you encounter one of these animals in the wild. Also, don't just go kicking house cats either. Let's get into the video.
When we talk about this, a lot of people are confused about how only 72% of people think they could beat a rat in a fight, like a little rat. I call shenanigans on that. I think that number's too high. We have tape on this.
Okay. Every
tape that we have of human versus rat, the human is definitely taking the L. What happens? We go... A rat, I don't care about your karate black belt. If a rat climbed out from under your desk right now, you'd be up in your chair like, oh my god.
What's the rat gonna do? Nibble me? I'm not cheese. I actually probably am a decent bit of cheese.
I think it's a teens. There's 5 people in my house right now. None of us could beat a rat.
All right, house cat.
What do you think?
I don't like cats in the first place. I mean, like, cats are okay.
I would fight a cat. I would.
Love a cat so much.
I think it's crazy. That number should be 100%. Easily.
I've never had a run-in with a rabid house cat. Like, you know those house cats that are just jerks?
I have. I've had a cat. I've had cats claw and bite and scratch me.
Yeah.
As long as you don't lose your composure. I lose my composure against the rat. A house cat does not possess any weapons that he can disable me with.
Yeah.
A rat doesn't either, but I'm scared of rats.
Except for the plague, maybe, but yeah.
I will grab that cat and I will until it just he can and I'll just be like
Mike, you alright, man?
Huh? Which brings us to this goose.
This goose situation.
Like, everyone feels like that goose number is too high. That when he comes at you.
That becomes a big animal fast.
Inside their feathers, there's like nothing. It's nothing there on those big birds. They just look like there's a lot going on there. The question boils, Seth, are you afraid of the goose or are you not afraid of the goose?
I've definitely gone out of the way to not encounter a goose.
So there's a good chance if he gets to doing his thing that you'll be like, ah.
I feel like faced with adversity, I could do what I needed to do.
I'd grab him. Dude, this is what I would do. Here's how I would do that goose. I'd grab him right up under his head, right? Right at the top of his neck, and then right at the bottom of his neck. I'd put my foot right there and be like, pop.
I think if I had to, I would bust out full like traditional karate. I'd grab and like get it with a hikite. Like I'd pull it back to the hip. Like a good whoosh.
Is this where you try to work in that you think the hand pulling back is that them pulling the...
We're still looking for it, honestly.
Yeah.
I think it's... medium-sized dog. You don't have a dog. I know you don't have a dog. What?
I don't know if you can even post what I'm gonna say about it.
Uh-oh.
Cause like people have definitely been hurt and killed by dogs.
Oh yeah, for sure. This is gonna be the first one where I think that I would be in a bad situation. Like I think I have a kicker's chance.
You can kick a dog to
sleep.
Like this is one of the things that I always say when people are asking me why should I train martial arts or self-defense. I say, can you kick a dog so hard it
falls asleep?
And they're like, what? Well, sometimes when you're trying to sell the idea of self-defense to somebody, you got to put it in something more realistic than you're fighting terrorists or ninjas or whatnot. And it's like, well, if a dog attacks you, what's going to happen? I'll tell you what's going to happen. You're going to fall down. That's the only way these dogs get you, if you fall down. So there's no reason why a dog should be able to beat you in a fight.
I think a dog would beat me in the fight. I don't know if I could turn it on like that, Mike. I don't know if I could. Like Old Yeller, if Old Yeller, I didn't have the shotgun, you know what I mean? And I had to just do it myself.
Seth versus dog, Seth wins. Seth versus Goose, I think the Goose wins because I think you fold under that pressure. But medium-sized dog, I think you can beat him. I think I can too.
This one's a weird one. The eagle versus human. Like the thought process of eagle versus human. I'll be honest, I think I torch an eagle that I know is coming.
Listen, do eagles dive to attack, or is that a different kind of?
Yeah.
You know
they're talony.
They're very talented. These birds dive at like 1,000,000 miles per hour. You know that, right?
You're telling me that if you could see it falling, you couldn't gauge like the distance? Like it's not going to speed up at the last second?
No, your human brain and
like
your
this.
human eyes can't possibly calculate that speed.
24. Speed per second.
Listen, just like when a deer sees a car coming, like people think deer are dumb because they get hit by cars, right? When they see a car coming, their brain can't fathom how fast that car is moving because it's not related to anything that they can do or understand.
I fought a deer recently.
Fought a deer?
I fought a deer. I sidekicked a deer, actually. Long story short, my girlfriend, she's a Disney princess. We were touring a house, and this deer like starts trotting up to her. We're in kind of the middle of North Carolina, and she goes to pet it. Like she meets the deer halfway with an open hand. Right, she's like,
"Come to me, little deer."
And the deer like rises up on two legs, pretty vertical, with like a little bit more of an angle, you know? It was definitely coming at her a little bit more. I've got a video of this. I'll put the video up right now. But then she circles around me. I have to cut off the video. So now at this point the deer is looking at me, antlers out. Well, I was just like in a stance and I was like trying to give it some feints, but obviously it's never been, it didn't have that kind of sport knowledge.
If you try to head feint a deer, he's like, I don't know what that means.
He's like, okay, coming, and it kept coming, and finally I could tell it was on its way, and as soon as it was close enough, I popped him with a sidekick right on like the top layer of horn, and I just bonked him right there, and I could tell he was a little jarred, and then he let us be for the most part, so it worked. I think it's the only circumstance in which a sidekick has worked. I just want to say that. It seems super unrealistic. I have witnesses. If a deer wants his work, a deer's gonna get this work.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sidekicked a deer in the dome.
So I don't know why this one's even on here. Chimpanzee. I feel like
no. 17%
these
of
people
Americans
surely
think
don't
they
watch
can beat
Joe
a
Rogan.
chimpanzee in a fight.
Us, but stronger
and more down to get the
and
friction
longer.
on her
with pointy teeth.
Like I want you to think of all the ways that you would win a fight against someone. You would be like, I could punch them until they're unconscious. I could kick them until their legs give out. I could take the wind from them. I could break their arms or legs.
Pretty much whatever I wanted, yeah.
Okay. This guy's idea is like, what if I pulled their hands off of their body or removed their face? You can't choke him. You can't knock him unconscious. You can't outsmart him, because those 17% of Americans that think they could beat a chimpanzee at a fight are definitely not as smart as a chimpanzee.
They're jiu-jitsu practitioners, probably. They're probably jiu-jitsu practitioners. They're like, what kind of guard games you got?
Pull guard on Bobo and tell me how that goes.
Yeah, but okay, does Bobo have a black belt? Does Bobo train under Gracie? Kangaroo, probably the most attribute-wise similar to me animal on this list.
Really?
Yeah, just super leggy, you know?
Well, then I'll go ahead and say I could definitely beat a kangaroo in a fight.
On this graph, the picture of the kangaroo and the dude. Everybody's seen the video.
Yeah.
That kangaroo wanted nothing to do with the dude.
So there was a movie, and no one can tell me what this movie was. I remember
Kangaroo Jack.
Oh, okay. Where there was a kangaroo that was a boxer, and he was awesome, but they knew that the first time he took a hit, he would just shut down and stop. And I don't know if that's true, but in that video, as soon as the kangaroo gets hit, he's like,
yeah.
Oh, kangaroo's like the first time a Taekwondo guy gets punched in the face.
Yeah,
he's all like, Taekwondo,
yes,
Taekwondo.
exactly.
He's all like, fit, and then he's like, pow, and he's like, whoa.
Wolf. Dog, but different.
Yeah, remember everything we said about the medium-sized dog?
Yeah.
We said we just had to be a little sharper on the large dog. Guess
Yeah.
what? Wolf gets clowned 10 out of 10 times because the wolf is just a big-ass dog that's not comfortable with humans. The bite.
They've only got
bite.
one attribute. Yeah.
It's a powerful bite, but here's what's gonna happen. He's gonna try to bite you. If you don't fall down, that's the key. Just don't fall down.
I don't know. Wolves are pretty big though. Wolves can like if it wanted to, a wolf could jump on your neck.
How? If my hands are up, man, I'm very defensively responsible. He's gonna get one arm or one leg.
I think against a wolf, I think a leg kick. Like I'm just going all out.
Yeah.
Muay Thai leg kick through the legs.
Boom.
I think I would rather take my chances of just like that bad boy's legs immediately.
I feel like a wolf's legs are very. I feel like if I got a hold of
super
them,
bony.
I think you could. The next guy is crocodile.
All right, so here's what I'm doing. Alligator's coming at me. If I'm waist deep, I'm above the water, right? Hear me out. I'm above the water. Obviously of much higher intelligence than the crocodile. I'm splish splashing. I got a long wingspan, about 4 feet to my right. Over here, alligator's now like, huh? From there, Steve Irwin him on the back. No, I'm just kidding. I think that I stand no chance against the crocodile's like one of my biggest fears.
I'm glad you didn't think that because you were talking about how you're more intelligent than a crocodile. You're also.
I mean, I think I definitely am more intelligent than a crocodile.
Yeah, but you're also more intelligent than like a jet engine. But if you got sucked into that thing, you're done. Zero. And what? How do you damage it? What do you do to it? Like, how do you stop it?
I think that maybe we know the bite force is crazy this way, but is it this way? You know, how composed is this way? If you can get his mouth open. Like King Kong? King Kong did that
King
to
Kong,
that thing.
Yeah. For King Kong.
King Kong ain't got...
He has everything on you.
Which brings us to our next animal, the gorilla.
It boggles my mind that there's a human being on the planet that thinks they could beat a gorilla in a fight. So let's do this though with the gorilla. Let's say you had to fight him. You have no choice. You fall into the enclosure.
I think that the only way to do it is somehow assert dominance. I'm going flying sidekick because that's what they do. Like their thing is to run up and then be like,
and they try to big boy you. Yeah, they try to
right.
debo you. How do their balls work?
Well, I don't know. They might have like super jacked downstairs, you know? Their downstairs might be like concrete.
I can't see that their balls are sufficiently different. Though humans... So I'm thinking like a groin attack. Are you Googling? Don't Google gorilla balls. You just entered a search. I can tell that you're looking on the internet. Seth.
No, not pictures.
That's
how big
ridiculous.
Are gorilla's balls? 250 grams.
So how many grams are human balls? Google human balls.
25 grams?
Wait,
We're talking about a 10-time difference in testicular grammage.
I mean, I'll be like...
So I think the only way to go about it is like a ninja roll to an up kick.
Like you roll forward, come in.
You go full Dark Souls roll on him, but to underneath, and then as he's gorilla jumping over top of you, you get him with like a... Speaking of abnormally large downstairs, let's move on to the elephant. I think there's absolutely anything you can do.
I don't see how you hurt him. I could see that how you could circle him and avoid if you can cut the angle and circle and use footwork.
Keep circling. Well, this is the only animal whose footwork is just as deadly as everything else they do.
But I don't see how you can do anything to him.
No, there's nothing you're doing to him.
Like punch, kick?
I think maybe you could crawl inside him and try and work your way from the inside out. You go in through the back and just hope that you can like... You know?
Hey, what happens when you pull their tail?
Lions. The big cat. The only big cat on this list. I don't, like, maybe you could hop on the back and just grab a hold of the mane.
No, because they can turn. And the difference between him and, say, the wolf is everything on him is weapons, and everything on him can kill you.
Yeah, right. Yeah, big cats literally have a sensor inside their tooth to find your jugular.
Is that real?
I mean, I don't have any way that I could figure that out that's within close proximity to me. I don't know. I wonder what their noses, like what the sensitivity of their noses are. Think about how much the lion can like smell. Like its biggest sense is its sense of smell.
Yeah, what are their noses like?
Off the center line and a big ol' overhand. Just like hoping that you don't stick your arm right into its mouth.
Yeah.
I think that's the only move.
Sure.
And I think anything other than that, it's absolute immediate death. Alright, our last one here.
So, the bears that we see around here are black bears. Black bears are easy work.
Yeah.
Black bears are the jobbers of the forest. Black bears are the journeyman. Black bear is like the sissiest, most softest, lamest animal that there is. It's super big with all these teeth for literally no reason. Grizzly bears are an entirely different thing. Grizzly bears are like the size of a city and can eat you in one bite.
What do you think the tactic is? Obviously, there's nothing you're doing, right?
I think grizzly bears are the ones where you have to play dead.
I think that actually is...
We need to get that right, because we can't make a video. Grizzlies attack when they feel surprised or threatened, so they tend to stop attacking when there's no longer a threat. A grizzly bear will kill you. It'll kill anyone, anytime it feels like it. The only way you survive a grizzly bear attack is if the grizzly bear just decides not to kill you. 6% of people saying they could fight a grizzly bear is asinine.
And if you want the tips to learn how to actually beat a grizzly bear in a fight, I'll post them in the next video. Make sure you guys subscribe, turn on the notifications, and make sure you subscribe to Icy Mike, obviously, if you haven't already.
You putting that at the end? No one's watching now.
It's gonna go in the beginning.
Oh, okay.
Jonathan, okay, don't say no one's watching. Jonathan's watching.